Okay, so now I'm going to get through another shitty part of my day because, like I said, nothing's really been going right this year, and if anything happens next year, well, if I ever have a year again that was like this year, I mean, I'm handling it pretty well and making creative efforts out of it. Friggin' creative efforts out of it. But, I thought I was just a gentle person, calm, quiet. Yeah, that was me. Thought it was. And all of a sudden, bam, something in life is like something I didn't know. And then friggin' everywhere, I have spastic capabilities everywhere. So now I'm just trying to tone it down, like learn from it, teach it from art, because that's really seriously the best thing to do about it. If you're gonna learn something crazy and even like feels miraculous, you know, you're like, wow, that was actually really peaceful when I look back, but you're definitely getting help from somewhere, definitely telling you to be like, I don't know, something was helping because it was so crazy and intense. But you're like, wow, that was really peaceful. I don't know, probably shouldn't be talking. Risk after risk, I hate it. I hate risks now. I do. Because of it. It's like, I was thinking about risks, I was thinking about becoming an artist and like, but staying the things that I wanted to stay the way I wanted them to stay. But did they stay at all? No. In the middle of like chaos beyond measure. So now I feel like claustrophobic in my own workings and stuff, but that's just how I feel. It's like everywhere I go, I feel like I left part of my business, or like, it's like I left unfinished business everywhere or something. Like, it just feels like that. I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want people to know my business. And best thing I can do is just make creative art that feels like it's expressing the like positive change of being like, this is where I am mentally, physically, emotionally, and where I want to be is someplace like this piece of art that I'm making for whatever reason. But I've been working with this idea. Last year I was working with this idea, and this idea was that truth has different energy ratings. So it's like, today is such a hard day, why am I having such a hard day? Like, for real, today. And then it's probably just me wigging out about my clothes because I really like clothes. But, so it was like, I don't know, like, energy level of truth comes at a level between, usually in a range between, or like when we usually are working with things, between a range of 1 and, or yeah, like 100, 0, 1, or that range, and then 1,000, 900, beyond that, it's just immeasurable. It's just, right now we can't measure the truth of it. And I read about this in a book by David R. Hawkins, I think. It's like energy versus force, or force versus power, or something. And it was really good, but I was doing really good at the time, and then I was thinking about taking risks, and so my life definitely went on the risk path, and I didn't even plan like what kind of risk path to go on. And my life was just going off course, and I was like, what is going on? I have no idea. Like, I wasn't doing anything that should have caused it at all. And yet, one thing after another, after another, after another. And so that was great. And like, if the next year that happens like that, wow, I don't know if I could handle that. Anyway, life is up and down a lot. I'm hoping to get back into a lot of different things this year that I really enjoyed, and like, I don't know, I want things to kind of stay like they were when I was making that risk, because I enjoyed who I was at that time, but how do I know when the right time to let go is and to do something else? You know, like do I keep up, or do I stay the same and the house may keep up, or I don't know. What I wanted to do today was do an energy reading of these things, which are spells and spirits. So I'm going to start with spells. And in this book, I feel like I am a machine that has not been taken care of in a little while. I need to send it to the machine chat. And yeah. So here are, I'm going to start with 495. Healing spells. Let's see what we got for energy levels for healing spells. So, as I read, this is a book called An Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells, the ultimate reference book for the magical arts. Judica Ills. Thank you. That's the book. It was published by Harper One. Good publishing company right there, I'm sure. I enjoy them. Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells, copyright 2008 by Judica Ills. So this probably took a long time to get going. And I wanted to start, I was just thinking, I hope I can upload more than a 10-minute video to YouTube, because it takes work for your computer, for your YouTube account to allow you, there's different things you have to go through for them to allow you to post videos as long as you want them to be. But I've gone through that yet, and I don't want the extra work. Yep. These are time plan. What are these? I'm start with page 800 and what is this? Protection spells. Interesting. Bay. Alright, so we'll go through this. Energy levels are, like, there's different ways you can measure them. The purpose of the book was to label them in different ways, and they did. Just know that higher energy levels is more full of, like, life energy and truth, and the lower energy levels have less energy and truth. So as I'm going through this, I'm going to mark down how much energy is in it. Look, a little pen. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to say that, let's see. I'm going to read to you about protection spells first, page 876. Protection spells are intended to prevent, protect, and repel danger. Many find this category confusing, so let's be very clear. There is no magic spell that functions exactly like an armed response guard one might hire from a personal security service. Magical protection spells provide magical protection. They create an aura that enhances other protective methods. If you are concerned about actual physical danger, magic reinforces other methods, but does not replace them. If you are seriously concerned about your apartment being robbed, for instance, it doesn't matter how many powerful spells you cast, how many amulets you post in the entrance. If you don't also lock the doors and the windows, magic, it doesn't matter if you don't do that. Magic doesn't offer a license to defy laws of nature or common sense. Like, why the heck did I have such a hard year when it's so hard for me to be peaceful again? Shouldn't have been hard. Should be that I don't know. Okay, according to cult wisdom, however, there are many kinds of danger in the world. Locking your door may prevent a human thief. However, certain dangers can only be repelled by magical methods. These dangers include malicious spells, hexes, jinxes, magic tricks, or negative enchantment cast deliberately against one person by another. the evil eye. Assorted spiritual dangers deriving from a vast variety of spiritual sources. These may be caused deliberately or inadvertently. My problem with what I would be doing would probably be the inadvertent assorted spiritual dangers. If I'm casting them just in there, just like I say, I am a Wiccan. And I cast spells. I cast spells that are both good and bad. I cast spells that are both good and bad. The only reason that I cast spells is for the people that are within the realm of Wicca that might learn from, think of it as like a cauldron. You've got some bitter spells in there, and you've got some sweet smelling spells in there. And the bitter ones are the ones that are like hexes and things like that, that are teaching other people that are Wiccan to walk away from those. And it's not any worse. Like, my year was inadvertently worse than most. Like, think about it. Like, it was like I didn't have any bad years for probably 7 years. And then on the 8th year, I had all the bad luck that was in those 7 years in that 1 8 year. I don't know how it was repelled. I don't know yet. But I will tell you more about when I was going through those 7 years at some point. You'll probably just pick up on it. And I was going through those things. Pretty easy breezy. Didn't seem like it, but it was pretty easy breezy now that I look back on it. And I didn't get through much. And if my life is a little bit of a conundrum, it kind of is. I'm still working on that, to be clear. But, so the 8th year took all the luck from those other 7 years. The bad luck that wasn't processed and happened all in the same year. So, like, that's like learning about hexes in the Wiccan field in 1 year. That was not helpful. Thanks, guys. You know, but I made it through. That was all right. Like, I guess it was all right. I had been wanting to learn a little bit about what it was to be more nature-based, but man, that was really tough, guys. So you're doing your job and keeping up both sides of the good and the bad. Actually, I've only seen the bad so far. But I will be looking for the good now. It's definitely not, you know, what I've been doing right now. I feel terrible in most of the days, like in my clothes and, like, I don't know, like having to clean and stuff like that. But it's like, it's transitioning, and I also have my site is further. So even though there's like, oh, I didn't vacuum today, you know, like, that's being brave, just telling you that, actually. Brave because I didn't vacuum, because that is how we administer the norm to people, and how we administer, like, food stamps to people, and how we administer, you know, you get food stamps if you can't keep your house clean because you have too much going on, and, you know, you're working through things or whatever. So anyway, so I was vacuuming today instead, because it took a little while. I did a lot of art projects, made the floor like have thread on it and little feathers on it and a little bit of dirt, because I did a little bit of planting. But it's looking better, and I have a little bit more to go, and then it's really not that bad. I don't have a lot of stuff. As you can see, this is actually just a temporary place for me. Hopefully going someplace else very soon. So I will be in a more community situation, which would be very helpful for me. I did not want to make that transition I kind of wanted to the first part of my life, but like I said, I was learning too much at once. It was not helpful to even make a decision. So, spend some time backpacking. That was the best I could do because I didn't want to settle down. Anyway, energy readings. Oh, why did I do this today? Myself, I don't know. Alright, so mine is mostly inadvertent. So I'm going to write down in here like a journal. Get your book, get your magic book. These are the spells, this is your magic book. You don't need to write your own at first. And write down where you're at in these little places. Seriously, I'm going to write down XO, XO. And then that this is the first year, all X's. This is where in the inadvertent, X's is mostly my deliberation. I don't know what it means. To learn the double-edged sword of protection. One side, I'm writing this way too long, but that's okay. One side giving access to Wiccan world view, and other side receiving. You can't get away from it. It's just to teach you to protect yourself. I'll write that down too. Just to teach you to protect yourself. There. That's what that's for. Energy levels in a different color. Now we have blue. Okay. So, although these dangers derive from magical and spiritual roots, they may manifest in a very physical ways as illnesses, accidents, like a life accident, like what the heck was happening in my life, and general disaster, pretty much. However, because their derivation is at least partly magical, prevention and remedies must also be at least partly magical. Acacia spells. Acacias are small thorny trees indigenous to Africa and Western Asia. The Ark of the Covenant was crafted from acacia wood. It's believed to have profound magical, spiritual, and protective powers. So, I'm going to do the energy reading. It says, Acacia Protection Spell 1. So I put my little pinky here, snap it behind the thumb here, and my nose it just, and take these two fingers, the pincher and the thumb, and press it, through the little hole here. Just put a little, like it's interlocking like a chain. I hold this hand as tight as I can. With this hand, I keep these two closed. And when I pull on it like this, when this releases over here, that's the energy level that you're working with. So it's a kinesiology thing. It's like muscle memory. It's all muscle memory. It's it's universal since we all have muscle, and for some reason it's universal because I don't know. Truth has been picked at so many times by the universe and every person in the universe that somehow it's muscle ingrained in your hands or something. I guess it's ingrained in your hands. Yay! So that's pretty nice. There's another way you can do it with two people. That just seems awkward to me. I don't know how to trust somebody else to be like, let me do this to you to see if I am telling the truth. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever. So, let me see. I was really tired this morning, but I got up and started doing this, so not so bad anymore. Probably being a little bit more grandiose because I am a little tired. But anyway, I wish she wasn't here right now. Things come in and out, little spirits, and you gotta know who they are and when they come in and out. Anyway, that's for another day. We'll talk about that. Now, well, that's this book. It's like the Encyclopedia of Spirits. I bet the energy levels here, when one comes in, you could test the energy level of it and say, it's like these energy levels. These are the spirits that work well with you. Go for it. Another day. So the one we're going to test, we're going to start testing some of these to have a collection of energy levels. So when you're like, my problem today is at an energy level of, and you find out, you can be like, well, is it about protection? And then find out, it's about protection. Or it's about protection actually. And then you go to your book and you're like, what is it? You go to your book and you're like, oh, I need something at that energy level to heal this or protect it or save it or whatever you're trying to do with your energy. So that's about it. Anyway, this thing, I feel like I'm Candy Spice today. I don't know why, I just feel like that. Anyway, kind of date me a little. Alright, so the first one is Acacia Protection Spell comes in at an energy level of 100. Hey, it's a 100. Let me write that down. So at 100 it broke, so it's under 100. So let's try 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So it's around 50. So I'm going to say 51, 52, 53, 54, 54. It's an energy level of 54. So when you're dealing with something with an energy level of 54, this, I would say you could use something just a little. To break it, you'd probably use shorter, and then to rebind it, you would probably use a larger. So smaller and larger, you could probably do it that way. So Acacia Protection Spell. So when you're dealing with something, you could also break something. No, not a protection. I don't know. I'll figure that part out later. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, I haven't worked with the protection spells directly yet. Alright, so Acacia Protection Spell 2 comes in at an energy level of 100. Okay, 10, 20, 20. How was this handle? Let's see. 10, 20, 11, 12. No, it's 11. This one's 11. Okay. Yeah, it's not very much that they're asking you to do. Alright, so anti-bewitchment spells. Anti-bewitchment spells create a protective shield, an aura, or invulnerability against malevolent magic. They prevent the casting of enchantment against you. However, they may not remove a hex already cast. Hex antidotes or reversing spells are required instead. And then they show C page. And that's like a good direction for us at some point. See page 589 if you have this book, and you need to do that right now if you need to. I don't know, go figure it out. Anti-bewitchment. Bewitchment. I have felt bewitchment before. I still do some days. I'm working on that myself a little bit, bewitchment. And it's not as easy to... I have two ways to go about this. Like it was easy. It wasn't that easy to come by at first because it was very natural, but I don't know, I was looking into some stuff, and I think that was my first taste of magic, and then right afterwards, this may grow into other stories, but this sounds about true. I'm still working through it, but like I worked through a lot of it actually, but like bewitchment in a good way, and then right after that, all the hexes. So that it was like I said, my year was terrible. And I'm getting through it. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know, I'll have lots of stories to tell, let's put it that way. But I like good stories from things that have been difficult, and then succeeded, and then all that. So I'm learning how to tell it. So that's my little stage. Anyway, get back to that in a minute. We're going to take a break.